That's Halloween music.
Was that Halloween music?
Yeah.
That
was. I call it spider legs.
Spider legs.
Yeah.
It kind of sounded like a car sputtering out. What's the name of that one? Like Scooby-Doo ass looking cartoon where they got the car. It's like a dune buggy or some shit.
Well, when I pitch it up, it'll sound exactly like spider legs.
All right. I'll leave you to that. Well, it's the 13th, Max.
Hi.
October 13th.
Hi, October 13th.
If you flip that number around, it's 31, which means Halloween, baby.
Halloween invert.
Invert. We are the invert of Halloween.
We're going invert.
But it's Thursday the 13th, so nobody gives a shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what does this mean? This means we speak briefly about...
Spookums.
Okay, if you've made it this far into the video, I want you to comment down Gasporgus desporpus. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyways, so, you've been telling a lot of stories recently, Max, and I've been wondering.
Okay.
After all the shit you've seen and heard,
okay,
are you afraid of the dark now as an adult?
Not if I have my friend Samuel Colt with me.
They call this here the Peacemaker. But fella, peace was never an option.
Interesting question. I don't know how to phrase my answer exactly because when I was a kid, yeah, like I would look down the dark hallway and be like, no, thank you, right? Mm-hmm. And that'd be in my own house. As an adult, I have no problem going outside. I have no problem like walking down a dark hallway or walking into a room when it's dark or something. No, I don't think so. I think what bothers me is when something seems out of place. That bothers me more than the dark now. Like a noise. A noise. Like if I'm in a dark room alone and I hear something clatter, then it becomes very scary to me, right?
Right.
Like the dark itself isn't what frightens me anymore. It's the presence of something that shouldn't be other than myself. And I think really that's what being scared of the dark has always been for everyone. It's just, it takes them a while to realize it. If you're a kid, like, oh, creepy things are in the dark. It's like, yeah, it's not necessarily dark. It's the things in it, right?
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, sometimes, you're in the dark and you're like, oh, thank God I'm in the dark. Nothing can see me, right?
Sure.
If you're a hunter.
A hunter's got a hunt.
If you want to choke something out. Sometimes the dark is your veil.
I understand hunting. I've been hunting. It's aight. But the people who take it that extra step where it's like, I gotta be in a tree, like, with a fucking javelin, ready to just strike the prey below me. It's like, all right, dude. Oh, okay.
All right. I see you up there.
Yeah.
And that looks fun.
I think there's people who actually go hunting and they just have a knife. I think that's actually like a thing. Because I know you can javelin, you can like a spear gun, you can black powder rifle,
bow.
Bow.
Bow is a knife that flies.
The bow is a knife that flies, yes.
So, yeah.
And I mean, a bullet is just a rock propelled by an explosion behind it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just a fancier slingshot.
So let me ask you now. Does the dark scare you?
As an adult, no. As a kid, yes. I did not like the dark as a kid. I would prefer to, and that's the weird thing, right? It's like when I was a kid, I hated sleeping with the door closed in my room. I always liked, because there was always a little bit of ambient light coming from somewhere, usually the kitchen. Yeah. And it always felt like I had an escape route. Now I'm the opposite. It's like anywhere I go, I can't sleep in a room with an open door. It's just weird to me. So, yeah.
I get a weird thing that happens to me occasionally, deep down in my brain mind.
In your brain hole?
Is I'll be in one part of the house, and it's usually when I'm in a further back part of the house. This happens to me. Mm-hmm. And I'll have a door closed, and I'll be in the room, and usually at night, I'll start getting a little and it's usually when I'm alone in the house, and I'll start getting a little tripped out about what's going on in the rest of the house. And nothing's going on in the rest of the house, and I know this, but right. I'm like, man, I don't like not knowing what's going on out in the rest of the house. Mm-hmm. I want to hear TV. I want to hear movement. I want to hear like life happening. But it weirds me out that the rest of the house is so quiet.
It's dead silent. Yeah.
I don't like that.
I agree. It's unnerving when you're in a space where there should be activity and there's none. I mean, you can go to like a mall, during the day, and it's like empty, and you kind of get skeeved out.
Oh,
when you turn a hallway, because malls always have like their weird shapes, and you end up like make a slight turn, and you just look at this just row of empty in front of you when you know there should be people, and it's like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't like that.
There's an extra layer though when you're responsible for that space.
Oh, see, I haven't had that yet in my life, so I'm not really sure what that feels like. But you have had that. Yeah,
I just like, oh man. Oh, what if somebody came in through that door? What if somebody's at that door? Like, I don't like not knowing, I'd be Tony Montana with like the 13 TV monitors looking at every corner, if I could.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay Amazon the $2 a month though.
It's too much.
Yeah, way too much. I'll just be scared. Thank you.
I mean, I guess I could kind of relate to that. When I worked on the railroad, it was a passenger service, and there would be layovers, and we'd, just be the staff on the train, and the staff, I was like the only weirdo who would stay on the train usually. Like everybody would just flake off and spend every moment they could away from that thing.
Yeah.
And I'd eat my lunch, and I'd get bored, and I'm just going to go back to my car and like take a nap or whatever. And so just walking through the train, it should be empty. And like, it was the opposite. It's like, if I heard something, that was weird to me. Mm-hmm. Because I just expected it to be empty. And sure enough, there was one time where I get back to my car and I'm like washing a dish or something because it had a galley. And a fucking figure walks by really quick behind me like goddamn Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And it's just some random tourist who somehow got on this locked train and was just walking through all the cars. And I walked after them expecting to see a staff member, and it's just some random dude. And I'm like taken back, and I'm like, hey, you can't be on here right now, dude. Like, do you even have a ticket? Like, what are you doing? Oh, I just wanted to look around. And I said, oh, well, for your safety and for the safety of the passenger's property, I have to escort you off the train. I was just making that bullshit up. There was no training for this. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I just needed to get him off the fucking train. I knew that much.
Yeah, for your safety.
Exactly, dude. He's walking around like Sasquatch. So yeah, I found the nearest exit and, opened the door and got the stairs out and let him off. And he played the, innocent tourist bit really well. And I let him get away with it. But like, holy shit, that spooked me so bad. Like, yeah, sometimes you get so used to the lack of life that any kind of, I guess that's kind of what you were saying earlier is, something that doesn't belong there,
right?
A noise, and that's what tipped me off too. Is I heard because the fucking loud doors, in between the train cars, you have to slide those fuckers. Yeah. I heard the door open, but not with the usual force that, like a passenger who, has been on the train for an hour or two and kind of figured out how it works, or one of us would have done. It was just such a light force, like somebody was purposely trying to be stealthy about it. And there's no way to quietly open these fucking doors. Sure. And that kind of tipped me off, but I didn't pay any attention to it until I saw the figure behind me, just Bigfoot walk past like the doorway to the little galley I was in, and it's just, anyway.
I wonder what he was really doing in there.
I don't know.
He was stealing. I bet he was stealing shit.
I mean,
that's got all the hallmarks of somebody stealing shit.
He had board shorts and flip-flops on, and, you know, a hat, like a stupid Grand Canyon hat. He looked like just an honest-to-gosh tourist, and he had kind of a European accent. I was kind of freaked out. Again, they never trained us on what to do about this. I probably should have held him and talked to security or got a manager, but I didn't. I just get him off the train, whatever. Nobody reported anything missing that I know of, at least, because, you know, nothing ever came back to my shift about it. But like, it was just so weird. But I don't know how he got onto the train, because when you close, you've seen the sides of like passenger cars, how when it's rolling, that shit's closed up tight. The stairs fold in to the car, and then you close the door, and there's no way to open it from the outside. They open from the inside out.
Right.
It's only like at the back of the train, which there's usually somebody back there. You know, there's a promenade, a deck, like an observation car in the back of the train. You know, that one, and it's got a very obvious door that you can just open either, you know, outside, inside. But there's always somebody back there. And so, like, I don't know if somebody just left the side of the train open and he got in that way. I don't know if he got in the back and just snuck past, who, you know, because usually the conductor or the brakeman was usually back there after their lunch and smoke break, and they'd be back there bullshitting because it's comfy, you know, nice comfy chairs.
Sure.
There you guys go, ruining the magic of you know, the railroad. The nice chair that you're taking a nap in, probably some sweaty fireman who just got off a smoke break is sitting there shooting the shit and farting in it. Anyway, yeah, I you know, I don't know if he snuck past everybody or if somebody goofed up and left one of their, you know, their car doors open and he just crawled in that way. Which again, I mean, it's not a huge stretch because, like, you know, it's maybe a foot or two off the ground. We usually have stools that we put down, so it's an easy up and down. You know, again, if he saw, you know, the open stairway into one of the rail cars, I guess he could have just, you know, climbed up it. And it's not a huge stretch of the human body to do. It's really not that big. It's just like taking a big step, you know, like skipping a step on the stairway basically, and you're up in the train car. But yeah, from there he was like hell-bent for leather heading towards the front of the train, which the back of the train is where all the first class and luxury class cars and stuff were. So if he was there to fucking rob it, he would be hanging out in the back of the train, not heading like he has a mission from God to the front of the train where, you know, economy class and coach class is. So I don't know what that guy's mission was. I think, again, I really do think he was just a tourist. But, like, who does that? Who sees a train and thinks, I'm just going to climb on it? It can start moving at any minute. You don't have a fucking ticket. It's obviously, the ACs are running, the train is humming, the lights are on, so it's not like some sort of museum. There's no signs anywhere that said it was a museum. Like, it's an active railroad yard. Like, I just, who does that? Who just climbs randomly on the fucking trains? Like,
maybe Europeans do. I don't know. Whatever the hell he was.
I've never been to Europe. Can our European fans help me out here? Post a comment if you just randomly walk onto passenger trains that you see. You know, and just
Jason Bourne and crew always just slip onto him.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But this guy was not Jason Bourne. He was not. He was built different. Let's put it that way.
Huh.
Yeah. But that's the closest I've come to being in charge of a space that, you know, has activity and then has periods where it should not have activity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. The dark itself, no. When I first moved here to this town, I always used to go and walk at night, and I used to purposely go at night to avoid people because it was so crowded during the day. And I'm too scared now. So maybe I'm scared of the dark. But it's not because of the dark I'm scared.
It's agoraphobia, scared of the crowds and the people.
Yeah, well, that's what. Now I just don't go out. So it's nice. So everything's solved now. I just don't go anywhere. But I don't know. You know, I had a few things happen down where I walk, and it's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe that really wasn't a good idea. Maybe that's not too smart thinking. You know, too smart. It's too good of a plan to do that at night.
Listen, we were one "Hey Max, let's bounce" away from being inside Pyrex guy's van on our way to God knows where. He was going to wear our skin.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. But he didn't come out of the woods. He came.
Okay, fair.
He was just there. He was just there.
He came out of a Walmart parking lot. Yeah, that's fair. That's a valid. Yeah.
The other guy came out of a gas station.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just jarring when you turn a corner and there's a bum sleeping on the ground a foot away from you, and you're like, oh,
that's a person. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna walk here at night. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know, what am I doing? And when that kind of stuff started showing up, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna do this anymore. Among other things, there were a few weird things that happened down there. But yeah, I used to go at night and it didn't bother me at all. I have my headphones in, like not hearing anything around me. It's so stupid now thinking of it.
You could be just assaulted, bro. You'd have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I'd be like, oh, I'm having a good time. And now it's like, Jesus, what the fuck? I was really not bothered by that. Now it bothers me thinking about it. So, you know, it's different, I suppose. Different mindset when you get a little older or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
It's funny. As a kid, you're afraid of the monsters that don't exist. As an adult, you're afraid of the monsters that could exist.
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot, which does.
Well, I meant like the guy next to you could be, you know, a murderer or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bigfoot too, I guess.
Bigfoot, well, yeah, because that's real.
Bigfoot, he is out there.
He is out there. Yeah.
You know, you were talking about people walking out of the woods. I can vibe with that. That's no good. But what if an arm reached out of the woods towards you? You know, that's
no good either.
That's no good. Okay, real quick to cap off this episode. What would be worse? You're out in the woods walking and you hear something follow you, or you see something following you.
It depends what you see, I suppose. If I see a little fuzzy bunny, I'm not too bothered by it, right?
Okay, fair.
But I think
let's say it's a shape that keeps its distance and is relative to your size.
Yeah, that's no good. The uncertainty would be really bad. Because if I look and I see a mountain lion following me, that's not good either.
No,
but at least I'd know. I'd have an arsenal of information at my disposal that would give me some idea on what to do. You know, whether I'm successful or not, that's neither here nor there. But at least I would have something.
Well, you know, old Samuel Colt made every man equal.
Yeah, that's true. But if there's this dark shape 50 yards away, and I get glimpses of it, you know, matching my pace in beyond the tree line, no, that's really awful, actually.
Okay, so you're saying just hearing like what sounds like somebody following you and actually seeing someone follow you, that would be scarier than hearing them.
Well, that depends. Again, it's like
okay.
Am I hearing like
just footsteps, nothing like crazy?
If I'm just hearing footsteps and it's clearly following me, well, that's unnerving. At least seeing it, I'd have an idea of location.
That's fair. That's fair.
The lack of knowing exactly where it's at is really bad.
Right.
I remember a long time ago watching a video about a survivalist guy or a military dude or something. I forget exactly what he was, and if I could remember his name, I'd tell you, but I can't. And he said that posting up camps and things like that, that lanterns were encouraged and flashlights and spotlights were discouraged. And the reasoning behind this was lanterns gave off an ambient glow. So if something was approaching your location, that sure, you could see it coming, but you can psychologically prepare yourself for what you're about to shine the flashlight on. And with spotlights and things, you don't see anything until you land right on it. And you could, ultimately do yourself in with a sudden jolt of extreme fear.
Right.
Whereas, okay, I see a vague shape approaching. Get ready to light it up. Like you're preparing yourself. Mm-hmm. You have an idea of what it might be due to the shape and the distance and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But, with a light, with a straight beam, it could be right in front of you and bam, you got it in your crosshairs, and it's a really freaky thing or something like that. And that always kind of stuck with me. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a little bit of something to be said about how we have the ability to see in low light situations, but we're not very good at it. Uh-huh. And a sudden flash of light, like turning on a really intense flashlight to illuminate something, that's going to destroy what little natural, like low light vision we have. Whereas something that's more ambient and not as harsh of a lighting condition, it'll help us, our eyes, adjust to the surroundings better. So you can probably spot things better too without making your eyes freak out.
Interesting.
That's weird. That's weird though. I'm over here saying, "Oh no, I'm not afraid of the dark," but now I'm thinking like,
maybe I am.
I don't want to be outside in the dark. That's for sure.
I've been wanting to go on a camping trip.
Oh yeah,
like the last month or so, I've had the bug to go on like a
Bigfoot.
Kinda.
Okay.
I don't want to turn up missing.
No, we don't want that either.
I don't want to feed the government cover up. Because that's true. That's true, too. I don't want to become a non-statistic in a Bigfoot's menu.
You should stop writing blues and songs, and you should start writing folklore ballads.
Okay.
Send a Black Hawk out for me, mama.
Is that helicopter silent, or is that just me?
The feds will have to send me back in a shoebox.
The polo shirts.
The polo shirts.
That's the name of the group.
Bigfoot ate my dog. Bigfoot took my truck.
Bigfoot took my truck.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
So you're camping. A Bigfoot family caused eminent domain.
The government seized my land because Bigfoot. Oh God.
Anyway, I've been wanting to go
camping.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go camping. Just go out and take a friend and go camping. And because I haven't done that. I've never really camped outside, with a tent or anything. We've camped in fifth wheels and things. So I've never camped with a tent, like having a hike to a location and camp like that. I've never done that. Mm-hmm. And it's a bug I've had for a little bit now.
Bring cameras and recorders and flashlights.
Yeah.
Point the camera where the flashlight is this time, okay?
Yeah. I mean, I was, but it's just so dark. Like, you don't understand. The reason you can see everyone on YouTube when they take videos is because they have low light cameras, guys.
Okay.
It's just true. Like,
Dan Bell makes it look easy.
Dan Bell does make it look easy. He has that fucking camera he has, he points it down the road and you can see everything at night.
I don't know what
it sees more than my eyes.
Yeah, dude, seriously. He is living the dream. I wish I had that kind of equipment.
Yeah.
Damn. Hook us up, Dan Bell.
Come on, Daniel Bell.
Give us a call at...
he did a good... at best5.noon.
.net.
He did a good Skunk Ape sort of documentary kind of thing. about a year or so ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ended really creepily.
Yeah.
I remember when that ending of that thing, which it could have been coyotes or something. Although it didn't sound much like coyotes to me. I've heard a lot of coyotes. Never heard them do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending of that, I know this is totally not a well, it is a little bit of an in the dark thing. But he was sitting there in his car, right?
Yeah.
Alone in the woods. And he started hearing those animals do whatever they were doing. And he's sitting there freaking out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told this story before, but that was very similar to a set of sounds that I heard once out in the woods. If anyone goes and watches that video, I don't know what the hell it's called. Dan Bell Skunk Ape documentary, who knows. But at the end, watch the whole thing, it's pretty good. But at the end, it ends in an interesting way. But what he hears is very similar to something I heard in Trousdale County here in Tennessee. And it got so loud and it got so what sounded like close to me. And then it just all of a sudden stopped, like all of it. Just like stopped. Like the conductor did the thing with his baton where he said, done. And I was like, whoa. And I remember staring into the darkness thinking, that's really fucking creepy. And that's probably 100 yards out in front of me.
Wow, that close?
Yeah, really, really close.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, really unsettling. And I was just staring into the black nothing. If I had a Dan Bell camera, I could have seen everything, but I didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was staring into nothing. So, anyway, yeah, that's not good. If I heard that in the night, I wouldn't want that.
I mean, the only explanation is it was a skunk ape.
That's the only explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And now I bet the government has taken all of that land and kicked out or killed everyone that lived on it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Government took my baby.
Government took my baby and fed him to Squatch.
The government tried to silence me.
I will not. I must scream, and I will be heard, damn it. The government fed my wife to the wild man.
Bigfoot polluted my water supply. That caused a pretty bad audio spike. I'm sorry.
It's not gonna matter. Oh, okay. Hey, I got another quick little thing regarding Bigfoot.
Go for it.
This one, this really creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my Audacity just froze. Anyway,
no.
It didn't.
Come on.
It didn't.
Okay.
I was watching Mr. Nightmare, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And he was doing missing persons.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a pretty recent video. And the first video he did was a kid named, the first story he did in this video was a kid named Jared something or another. I forget. But it was a part of a Boy Scout troop, I want to say. And this happened in 91. And they were hiking in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Huh.
And this kid kind of started to fall behind. And they kind of lost track of him. And they went down looking for him, couldn't find him.
Mm-hmm.
Once they realized it, it's like, oh shit, where's this kid? His name was Jared. I forget his last name. So a search is carried out, and they find little bits and bobs. I think they find some like food wrappers and whatnot. But then, like a significant amount of time later, I believe they find a camera, because this is the 90s. You actually had cameras, you know.
Yeah. Not phones with cameras, but just a camera.
Yeah, they found his camera, and they developed it. And do you remember in Jaws 2 when Chief Brody develops the film, and on the film is a blurry image of a shark?
Yep.
And Chief Brody is like, I know a shark when I see it. I don't intend to go through that hell again. Well, anyway. This is pertinent because, and Mr. Nightmare, I know he saw it too. I know you saw Mr. Nightmare. I know you saw it in there. But he didn't. He was good. He was good about it. I would have mentioned it right away. But this kid took a selfie. The last photo on the roll was a selfie. right?
Uh-huh.
And it's clearly, it looks to be at night. The flash has gone off, so his face is overexposed and sucking up all of the light, right?
Yep.
His eyes are glinting in the flash. But over his left shoulder, I got chills thinking about it. Over his left shoulder is, to me, what is so clearly a big eyeball.
Oh.
And also what looks to be the side of a nose.
Oh, no.
And it is... I saw that, Kendall, and something happened in my gut where I felt a near sick feeling.
Wow.
And he didn't mention it. Mr. Nightmare didn't mention it, but I know he saw it. I know he saw the face there. And and I sat up in my seat and I pointed at the screen and I said, Sabrina, do you see that? And she's, what? Yeah. like, are you kidding me? You do not see and at first I was thinking, okay, bear? Is this a bear? But then almost right when I said that, as if Mr. Nightmare anticipated me saying this, he said something along the effects of, no remains were found, so it's unlikely that it was an animal attack. And as we know, when animals attack people, it's a fucking mess.
It can be, unless they drag it away. And
no.
Here's the thing. It could have been a big cat, like a mountain lion.
Didn't look like it. Didn't look like that.
All right.
This was this was a very people-faced cat.
No. Ooh, don't like that. Don't like that, sir. There has been stories of mountain lions grabbing people and dragging them away from the trail. But there's usually signs of struggle, a little bit of blood, a lot of marks in the ground, broken stuff,
I mean, I've talked about enough animal attacks on this channel over the years. And every time there's an animal attack, there's always some grisly evidence left behind because the whole human is never eaten. Never.
Oh, that's true too.
Never is the whole human completely gone.
Yeah.
It's never happened. And they've never found this kid, by the way. So you guys go to that Mr. Nightmare video. It's a recent one. Missing people in forests or whatever the fuck it's called. That first or second story is about a kid named Jared, and you tell me you don't see a big face behind that kid's left shoulder.
I'm going to look it up right now.
It is. I'm
going to watch it.
Ooh-wee. It is terrifying. It freaks me out. I can't look at it. Anyway, speaking of scary in the dark, that's scary, and it looked like it was in the dark. So I'm done on that one.
And the thing I hate is, not sure what kind of camera it was on, but I'm guessing it probably was maybe even a disposable because those were super popular back in the 90s. And that's what I would have sent my dumb kid out on. Yeah. With, not saying that, Jared is dumb, just like if I had a kid. Anyway, if I had a kid, he'd be dumb for sure. Anyway, those disposable cameras, they have zero zoom whatsoever on those lenses. Like that, none. So if it captured something that it could get with that meager little flash, that means it was fucking close.
I mean, it sure gave me the vibe of... And I don't want to project too much. But it sure gave me the vibe of this thing had him.
Yeah.
Had him. And he was using the flash to either see or maybe I don't know. There's a lot of possible things. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen the photo yet, but
I haven't. I'll watch after this episode.
Okay. Anyway, that's all I've got.
Yep.
So if you've made it this far, comment Gerdumbule.
Gerdumbule. God. We're gonna have our own lexicon by the end of Halloween Madness, I swear.
Good.
All right,
guys.
Yep. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
Keep the hype train buzzing, or whatever the fuck we're saying.
Yeah. Say the train of Christ stops for all.